Hi guys, how you doing? It's Orlando City UK here today, and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by a very, very special guest today. She needs no introduction as the face and queen of Orlando City. It's Kay Rawlins. Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's so good to be here.
I'm catching you at a great, great time.
Yes, you are.
First and foremost, let's say that this interview is actually long overdue. I've been meaning to speak to Kay for so long, but I want to put the disclaimer out there that we can only chat. We could chat to Kay for about Orlando City for hours and hours. We're trying to fit this into 40 minutes today. Got lots and lots of questions, obviously, to ask you about Saturday. But beyond that, the past 10 years, since the club was founded in Austin. So we're going to split this interview with Kay into three parts today. We're going to speak about Saturday and just what a day that was. Still trying to get my head around that. About community and Kay's beloved Orlando City Foundation, of course. And then we're going to finish the interview with a quick fire list of what I'm calling miscellaneous Orlando City. So loads of random questions, everything and anything to do with the club since 2010. So we've got a lot to cover, so without further ado, let's get into it. Saturday, right? Well, how do we begin to sum this up? The first thing I want to ask you is, cast your mind back. It must have been about 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, when it was all over.
Yeah, we've just defeated NYCFC in our first ever playoffs game. Describe your emotions in that moment, if it's possible.
I know. Well, I think confusion for a little while, but just so overwhelming because we'd won and then we didn't. Then we won, then we didn't. So even when we won, it was like, did we?
Yeah.
Is somebody going to take this away from us? Because, the first time we won, just tears, just so much emotion came pouring out. Like you said, it's something we've been waiting for and we've been building towards. And, this has just been such a difficult year for so many people. And so to just have this to hang on to was, I think it just all came flooding out in that moment. And then it was, what's happening now? And then we've won again. So now we cry again. So yeah, it was absolutely bonkers. Just incredible. It feels amazing. You know what it's like when a team is doing well, how it affects the community. Everyone's talking about it, everyone's excited. And I just love that aspect of it. It's just been it's obviously for us, it's been a difficult political climate as well. And so to have a whole weekend of social media fun was just so great. It was just wonderful.
It's been absolutely fantastic. I genuinely have not logged out of Twitter since the full time.
No.
In a constant scroll of, I must have honestly watched the shootout about 30 times since. Everyone's saying it out there in the Twitter sphere right now, but I still can't believe it happened.
Right.
Still can't believe, I'm still pinching myself, honestly, but like I say, everyone's seen the game now, so we don't need to dissect kind of what happened. But I do want to ask you, when Ruan did receive his red card in the second half of regulation, you see what I do all the time. We're doing the play-by-plays, and I'm thinking the game is slipping away. I'm losing faith, despite how good this season's been. I was like, man, this is going to be hard now. Did you still have hope that this special group, because that's what they are, did you still have hope they could pull through at 10 men?
100%. You should know by now, Taylor, I am the glass half full person. I think this season has shown us the grit and determination of this team and the way they play for each other. And I think what better example of why these players will run through a wall for this coach was him herring off down to the locker room.
What an image.
To go and, because he knew Juan would be crying. He knew how upset he would be, that he would feel like he'd let his teammates down. And if we lost, that, that would, be partly his fault. And so our coach's first thought is to I mean, and by the way, and you've been and done a stadium tour, so you know how far that journey is.
A long way.
Tunnel all the way up that great big kind of strip, and then into the locker room, and then our staff had to run after him and go, "Come back! It's not finished yet." And he, what? So, but I think that's the absolute perfect example of why Oscar is such a special coach, and why these players are playing like they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've summed it up very well then. The extra time period, I mean, the T-shirt says it, doesn't it? The hustle and hunger. The team dug in massively in that extra time period. I mean, Pedro Galese gets the yellow card for time wasting, doesn't he? That's what kicks it all off, leading to his send. But honestly, how deep the team dug. I mean, everyone's thinking it's a matter of time. NYCFC are going to take advantage, but against all odds, we did it. And I mean, I think the manner of winning that game on Saturday, I think you could view it two ways. You could think Orlando City are going to be knackered. You know, they've got a couple of their players out. Whoever they play next, you know, they're going to be up against it. I actually think it's the opposite. I think the sheer belief they're going to take, and the adrenaline from that win on Saturday. I'm not making any predictions right now, but I think with this team and the personnel, I think it's going to go the opposite and going to do us very good. So incredible.
We have a new hero now, you know, Rodrigo Schlegel. Like his Instagram on Saturday night gave me life. Like it was so great because he was loving it. He was having the best time, as he should. You know, everyone's asking, they want a, you know, Pappy, I can do that T-shirt.
Yes.
There were so many things to take away from that game. But for me, it was that team spirit that is just shines through in everything. You know, those players just love each other. They want to help each other. They want each other to do well. They want each other to succeed. And you know, it's been a joy this season. It really has.
Like you said, you've touched on it already, but in the year that has been 2020, honestly, the sheer amount of joy that Orlando City has brought to the community there, you know, obviously in Florida and the wider community worldwide, like our guys, it has been incredible, absolutely incredible. And speaking of Schlegel there, honestly, someone's going to have to pull him off his phone for the next game because he must honestly be, you know, inundated right now, seriously.
Yeah. Quite funny, on our senior staff WhatsApp this morning, they were sending through all the social media figures.
Yeah.
It's off the chart. It's off the charts. Like the growth of, you know, numbers, the percentage of people who'd watch things, how many million times this one had been watched. It's off the charts. I say that was, for me, that was one of the fun things once we got home. Obviously the other game was on by then, so we'd got the game on. We were drinking champagne, of course. Trying to keep up with all the messages I'd been sent personally, with then everything that people were tagging me on social media, and then all the banter that was going on, which was so much fun. It was so much fun. And, you know, and that's when you realize why we love the sport, because there's such a connection. And these days, obviously, because of social media, we are all connected and we can all share in that, you know, everyone went through it, everyone, you know, where, no matter where you were. And even if it didn't matter if you weren't at the stadium, people were standing up in their living rooms, running around, like just going crazy. And, you know, that's why the sport is, I just love it, because it is a global sport. And we were all with each other in that moment. And it was just so great to be able to then share it. And, you know, people were sending messages, and people were, I mean, obviously we've been giving Miguel a bit of stick about him being sent off.
I saw, that was amazing. He's a good sport though. He could take it on the chin.
Miguel's, you know, I love Miguel. I mean, he came with us from Austin. So, I mean, I've known him since he was really young. And I've loved watching his progression. Look at him now. You know, he's not only amazing at what he does for the TV and the interviews, but he's such a great ambassador for me, for the, you know, for the foundation. And so, no, he knows I have nothing but good things to say about him, but it was quite fun just to remind him of that moment.
Like you said, we was all connected worldwide on Twitter in that Twitter, Facebook in that moment. I mean, you saw the clips of me, 100% authentic, by the way. You know, I'm at my in-laws now in England, and really, like, they know I'm mad on Orlando City and mad on MLS, but they've not really watched the games before. That was the first game they sat and watched, and
oh wow,
they've never watched something as exciting in their lives as well. It was just madness.
Yeah. It had everything. It did.
It is like a movie script, but moving on, if we can. I mean, we could spend 40 minutes talking about that game.
I know.
Honestly, moving on though, this next segment I'm going to call community, because I know community is something which is so dear to your heart, Kay. Firstly, I mean, we are one big family, as we've referenced, you know, from the front office to the Iron Lion firm and Ruckus, to our very own Orlando City UK fan club. For me, the togetherness and this us against the world mentality, it is infectious. And then ultimately, it's the reason I support a team over 4,000 miles away across an ocean. So when you started the club, in the kitchen, on the paperwork, did you ever foresee it getting to the point it is now? Surely this is beyond your wildest dreams.
It is. No, yeah, absolutely. You know, at the time it was, you know, a minor league team, and mostly it was because Stoke were looking for, you know, an affiliate that we couldn't find what we thought they wanted, and that was why we decided we'd just do our own. For me, obviously growing up with Stoke, and Stoke have a really great community outreach. They do a really good job in the community there. So I always knew that was something that teams could do. You know, for me, that was front and center. Like, you know, if we're going to do this, we have a platform. Let's use it. Let's use it for good. Yeah. And I also think, again, soccer's uniquely positioned to do that because, you know, men and women play, boys and girls. You don't have to be, you know, 7 foot tall. You don't have to be, you know, 250 pounds or whatever. You know, everyone can play. You don't need a lot of equipment. And so, and it's also, so far anyway, touch wood, it's still a very clean sport. So you have all these great role models who look after their bodies, who understand health and wellness, who I can unleash into the community, you know, and let them influence kids, you know, to eat more healthily, drink more water, stay out of gangs, stay off cigarettes, you know, whatever. So that piece for sure was something I always wanted to do. And we started to grow bigger and got more demands on us, if you like. I mean, everyone comes with their hand out. And it was, well, there's all these things we need to do, and there's this need out in the community. What else can we do? And that was how the foundation came into being in end of 2012, beginning of 2013. Yeah. And that's obviously grown and grown now to a point where I feel like we've hit our kind of sweet spot, in that all the things that we do now make sense. You know, we build the mini pitches and we bring them into urban areas where, you know, there isn't room to put a full size field, but you can put these mini pitches in. We bring the programming. Everything is free. The programming is free. We teach the coaches. We give them all the equipment they could possibly need, including footwear for the kids. You know, if they turn up and they don't have the right footwear, we have that too. And then the third piece of the puzzle, I guess, was the gardens. And that was teaching kids nutrition who had no idea, you know, where to get or couldn't afford fresh food. So that was when we started, you know, building gardens. So yeah, it's been great. And then other pieces of that too, like this morning, you know, I just came back from the giveaway. So we join with a lot of our partners, with District 5, Commissioner Hill, Publix, Orlando Health, City Furniture. You know, a lot of people want to join in. And we gave away 650 turkeys with all the fixins, as they say here, for them to go home and have a Thanksgiving dinner. And even this year, we had, Publix also gave a $20 gift certificate as well. So you could even go get your apple pie or pumpkin pie or whatever pie you want for dessert.
In all the years you've been running it, Kay, the foundation, so you say 2012, 13.
Yeah, it was 2013 was when it kind of really, we really started, gaining traction.
Have you got a particular project that touched your heart the most, or is it too hard to pick? I mean, you've done so much stuff for the community.
I have a really vivid memory of that. I think it was back in 2012 even. We were obviously still playing at the Citrus Bowl then. And we'd gone to a community centre and we'd done a clinic. And we'd taken some of the players, and one of the little boys, it was Kevin Molino, funnily enough. He was chatting away with Kevin Molino, and next thing I know, I see Kevin taking his boots off. And he said, he doesn't have any. And I remember what it was like for me growing up, and very often playing barefoot. And so he just gave this kid his boots, and I'm like, okay, we have to do something about this. And also that we'd had to go to a little park, that wasn't even attached to this place that we were doing the clinic at. And so that was when we started thinking, let's really focus on the football piece, the soccer piece, but use the health and wellness aspect of it. And it's been great. I mean, it's been so much fun. Every time we open a mini pitch, it's the best. The one we opened this year actually was probably one of the best ones we did, because we used the All-Star money. So remember Nani,
the game, the challenge.
Yeah, Wheeler won the 25,000, and then FIFA Abe won 5,000 because he won the EMLS. So we put it all together and added a bit more, and then we were able to open a mini pitch. And I mean, all the kids are there, and Nani recreated the kick hitting the crossbar that won. Recreated it on the day. So much fun.
That is amazing when all parts of the club come together for the greater good. You've described it then. Like I said, the guys, all my followers will know from the All-Star Skills Challenge that we won that, beat Rooney and co. And then it goes back into the foundation and creating a mini pitch. It is so inspiring. Kay, tell our followers how our supporters can get involved in supporting the work of the foundation. What do they need to do?
Sure. So we've had so many people ask us this over the years, and we don't always have enough volunteer projects. And so this year we've launched the Kicking It Back Club. And a lot of foundations and nonprofits have these, they call them like a giving circle. So you basically pledge a certain amount per month or per year for a certain number of years. But, normally the buy-in is like $1,000. And we just know that's way out of so many people's reach. So we decided we have those levels. If anybody wants to do that, that's awesome. But we started it at $10 a month. And it's been so lovely. Charlotte Patterson, she was our first overseas member.
I saw that. She's dead chuffed she's the first as well.
Yeah, she did it. She got in first. But it's $10 a month. And for us, we know then for a year how much we're going to have that we can put in our budget for what we can then use it for. And it's the first time that we've done swag. So we've never done a scarf or a pin or a patch or anything. So, and a magnet. So that's what we put together some really cool, fun little things that, as a thank you for joining. But it's going really well. And we haven't, we've been very sensitive about this year. We know that this has been such a tough year for so many people. So we don't want to be in everyone's face. Come on, sign up for the foundation. Yeah. But it's going to be around forever, that Kicking It Back Club. And, you get your name on the website. We're actually going to have a place in the stadium where we're going to put all the names as well. excited about being able to do that.
Yeah, very cool. So the website, what is the website for our fans?
Yeah, it's Orlando City Foundation, orlandocityfoundation.org.
Okay, you heard the lady. Head on over there and sign up for the foundation, guys. The swag looks pretty cool, I must say myself.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh, I love the magnet. I've got it on my car, and like people keep about it, which is great.
So a couple more on the community before we move this forward. You'll love this one. I mean, everyone knows you're a diehard Stoke City fan. That was the first club that won your heart. Now, I know that you're not keen on my side, Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal and Stoke, you know, we hate each other. Let's
Yeah, we do. We
hate each other. But people ask me all the time, Kay, my in-laws included this weekend, like, are you more committed to Arsenal or Orlando City? Now, I want to ask you, is Orlando City now taken over? Are they your number one compared to Stoke, or is this just too hard to answer?
I'd say they're number one, Orlando, because, you know, obviously Stoke were my absolute first love. You know, I think I was 11 when I first went. And my friend's parents took me. And I loved it from the get-go. And one of the reasons was her mom, who was this prim and proper, you know, Stoke mom, to remind at the games, like she was swearing and yelling at players. I was like, who is this person? So, I mean, I followed them for obviously a long time. I had a season ticket for years and years and years. But there's something, you know, Orlando is my baby. I mean, I grew it, you know, and so it's absolutely my love now. I mean, obviously I still love Stoke, but Orlando is number one in my heart, you know, for so many reasons. And the biggest one is, you know, seeing something grow from an idea on, you know, on a piece of paper on the table to, you know, 62,500 people at the Citrus Bowl, to a brand new, beautiful stadium right there in Paramore. And then all the stuff that we do with the foundation and the players. So no, it's yeah, they're number one.
This is it. I mean, if I answer that question as well, like I say, Arsenal, I've been an Arsenal fan from birth, you know, like absolutely all my life. How I answer it often is, it's different. My love for Orlando City is, a couple of words come to mind. It's community and it's people. I mean, we've been supporters of the club since 2015, so the MLS era. And honestly, the amount of people that are now we consider lifelong friends, good lifelong friends that we've met running our fan club, going over there. And that's what Saturday was for me. It was the emotions. And I'm not ashamed to admit, I was quite tearful when we finally won that at the end, you know, because it's the people that we've met over the years, the people that support what we do, the people that have been there through the tough times and the good. It was kind of all of those emotions rolled into one for me on Saturday. So yeah, I'm a massive Arsenal fan. I'm a massive Orlando City fan, but
I get you. It
different.
is
It's
different.
very tough, really. It's a very tough one.
It is, but it's the family. I think you hit on, you know, so many of our fans will tell you, now are lifelong for, like, this is their family. They're, you know, the people they've met through the club, they're family now.
That's absolutely it. That's absolutely it. So yes, I mean, I'm skipping back actually here, but I did want to ask you this. You did touch on it earlier. Now we know, I don't know whether he actually likes being called this. You tell me, but obviously Oscar Pereira's called Papi, isn't he, in the press, which is Spanish for daddy, of course. Do people call him that in the club, or is that more of a kind of outward facing thing?
I mean, I would never call him that. Let's put it that way.
Right, it is a bit of a weird one.
But I think I do. I mean, obviously, I do think the players do. You know, as referenced by Rodrigo on Saturday night, saying, "Papi, I can do this." You know, that was an actual quote. So
quote now, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I guess there's quite a few of the players do, but it's not, I would never call him that.
Yeah. But I mean, it is one of those, isn't it? Because, you know, in all of the writing we've done about the club this year, like, he does cut that kind of dad figure, though, doesn't he? In the way he speaks, the way he behaves and acts. I mean, like I said, you've known him personally now in the front office there for around 12 months. Tell us what special qualities he has as a head coach. You mentioned Ruan and the fact he went to him straight, but what qualities does Oscar have as a head coach and a human being?
Yeah, I mean, I just think his man management is incredible. Like his understanding of each player and what each player needs. Some need an arm around them, some need a poke, you know, and he gets all of that. But I also think, you know, and it's funny in a way, those 6 weeks that they spent, you know, together in the Disney bubble where it was just them. Imagine trying to keep 20 odd guys, you know, and entertained and amused.
Incredible.
He did so many things, and one of them, you know, that I love is they would have all these quizzes, and it would be about each other, and so they learned. So now they all know each other's partners. They know the names of each other's kids.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a Zoom call the other week, and he said, "Did you know Daryl DK's sister played in the World Cup?" So they know all this stuff about each other, and I think that's such a great thing that he brings to the team, that he bonds them. He, you know, in so many small ways that all grow into one kind of big one. And he cares.
Absolutely. I mean, I was on record. I mean, I was gutted back in the summer when we lost to Timbers in the final. I did feel it was our time. I did think we were going to win it. I was confident. I was devastated. But I was on record in saying at full time after that through so many times in sport history, you've seen through great, adversity, like the teams failed together. They can use that and move forward. And like I say, I'm not making any predictions today, but honestly, Oscar and this team, they're special. And I think they can use that disappointment from the summer and turn that into, really wanting it in this postseason. So incredible. So good.
And I would just add, having Nani as the captain is also big, because no one works harder than him. He's such a role model for the younger players. You've seen him, there was video of him in the hotel where they presented, a game day ball to two of the ones who'd had their debut. And he could have just sat there, but no, he wanted to stand up and he wanted to speak and he wanted to say how important they were to the team.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge piece. When you've got someone of Nani's stature who is so in lockstep with the coach, you're on a winner there, because between the two of them, they influence everyone. So I think that's been a key piece for him.
Yeah, he has been an absolute credit from the first. I remember the first day he came to the club. It was completely out of the blue. I was working back in Leeds at the time, and there were murmurings that Orlando City could sign Nani from Sporting Lisbon. And there's so many rumours out there nowadays. You think, really? Yeah. And then you go on Twitter and you see the murmurings grow a bit louder. And I just remember, I think I ordered my replica kit literally an hour after the signing was made. But it's true, Pereira, he's done wonderful things for this club.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
But Nani, I mean, credit, absolute credit.
They're just they're a great team because of the mix that they have and the strengths that they have and the way they use them. So no, that it's like I say, it's been a joy this year. It's been a joy to watch them.
It has been magic, that's for sure. Now we've got around 10 minutes left with Kay.
Okay.
I want to move along to my segment that I'm calling Orlando City Miscellaneous. Now,
okay.
this is quick fire because obviously the time, the clock is ticking. But I've got about 10 or so questions I want you to give a quick fire answer to.
Okay, I'm on it.
Let's go ahead. Favorite tifo over the years? Now, there's been lots to choose from there.
I still think the first one in the Citrus Bowl.
Oh, rain starts now.
Yeah, that made me cry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I think obviously the emotion of it all, but that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done, obviously, I mean, I love what they do, and it's such a great thing to see, but yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah, I think the Joe one, the B Joe, that
Yeah.
moved me obviously with that story
Oh
as
my
well. But
God.
honestly, the guys that do that, I always wonder, being in the UK, I mean, it's up for what, a matter of minutes, if that, and the effort and dedication that goes into painting those things. I mean, props to everyone who does that in the ruckus.
100%. Yeah.
Incredible. Next one. When the team started out as the Austin Aztecs, we all know that the kit had red and white stripes. It mimicked Stoke City, of course, didn't it? But tell us, how and why did you make the transition to purple?
I know, so interesting. So when we moved here, and we worked with a design company on the new logo, I think it was we needed a fresh start. I think is what I would say. And they did this logo for us, which obviously you've seen, which was the three lions.
Yeah.
There was red and purple and gold in it, and we just went. Nobody else plays in purple.
Yes.
Nobody plays in purple, or very few anyway. That's the color. That's what we should have. The first year, they couldn't muster enough purple for us to have, for the team and to be able to sell.
Yeah.
So the first year, that's why we played in red. We had red home kits and white away. But then, we changed to purple, obviously, the next season. Kits are a whole, you could do a whole blooming podcast on that, let me tell you. It's a nightmare. But anyway.
We'll say the rest is history.
The rest is history. But yeah, I love the purple now because, I mean, look, everyone knows it's us, right?
Exactly. It's iconic.
You think they're a fan, even if they're not.
So next one, favorite place to sit or stand, of course, at Explorer Stadium. Where is it?
Oh gosh, I have lots. And so this
You've
season,
moved around a lot.
I know this season's been hard for me in some ways and good in another, because I'm trying to set a good example. So I go to my seat in club and I stay there. Normally on a game day, I do traverse around a little bit. So I actually love, on the club level, there's like a rail that you can stand at, because I grew up standing. When I went to Stoke, like we were up in the boothing end, you stood. I'd never sat down at a football game ever, which is obviously why. And then my second favorite, obviously, place is the Wall. I love going up there and hanging with everybody, and that's always a really fun thing to do.
Yeah, that comes on to my next one, actually. I've seen you. I've never had the privilege of doing this. I've got to do this.
I can arrange that.
The drum line, I saw you on there. How hard is it keeping the beat with those guys?
I'm okay. I mean, I've done it enough times now that, and I always stand next to someone like Jenny, who is great with me. Like she's my tutor. Tells me I have better rhythm than Kakar. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun, and it adds so much to the atmosphere. So yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
Brilliant. Next one, most prized football possession. Now for me, it's my Austin Aztecs jersey, because they're literally like rocking horse poo. They are rare. So that's mine.
Yeah.
What about yours?
Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff. And one day I will do like a big garage sale or whatever. So much stuff. I have one of the limited edition prints that they did of the 62,500. So I have that. I also have a signed one that's signed by all the team and the coach and everybody. I have that. I also have one of the shovels from the groundbreaking that has the lion painted on the shovel. I have my construction hat that was my very own purple Orlando City hat. Gosh, I have so much stuff. I have a lot of paper stuff as well. Programs and paper cuttings, gosh, all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot.
Very cool, very cool. So we've only got a few minutes left, but I have got a couple more I've definitely got to ask you. the foundation balls you've hosted over the years, who's the best dancer? You must have seen.
Oh my God.
Who's the best
Okay.
moves?
So this year was the best ever because pretty much all of them came on the dance floor. But I'd have to give a shout out to Benji and Junior, actually, Urso. Awesome dancers. And also special shout out to Miguel, who is always a good dancer, and always up there. So yeah, they were the best.
You've got Benji Michelle to beat. It's on record there. It's official.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we have 55 members now at Orlando City UK, but I'm curious for you. I mean, when you come back to the UK, you must have converted so many Potters fans to Orlando City. How many are we talking over the years?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you. But you know, I love that so many. My phone on Saturday. I mean, once I did finally calm down and look at it, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we've got a family group that's got my brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, kids. Everyone's on there, and everyone was watching. And so I mean, it took me ages to read. There was probably about 500 comments on there with people going WTF and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, it's great. I love that so many people watch.
So many. So final one of my miscellaneous. I could ask so many more, but I'll ask this one because it's been poignant to me living in Canada and now being back home and appreciating stuff like the chip shop again. I asked Luke Bowden earlier in the season when we interviewed him. I asked him, what food and drink do you miss most in the UK? Now, he said Cadbury's chocolate buttons. He said his little one always tries to steal them before he gets there. But what do you miss the most now you're a US citizen over there in Florida?
Oatcakes.
Oatcakes. Spoken like a true Stokeite.
Staffordshire oatcakes, remember? So they're the ones that look like a pancake, and you put cheese on them and bacon, and then you roll them up. Oh my God, the best things ever. But I have a British shop really close to my house.
Yeah.
So I actually get the British bacon, Irish sausage, they do pasties. They have all the chocolate as well.
Yeah. You've got your supply not too far away then. I craved English food when I was in Canada, honestly.
Yeah, it's, you know, fish and chips, good Indian. I love Indian food.
Yeah.
You really have to kind of search a little bit here. I've found places, but you do have to search. Yeah. But yeah, Staffordshire oatcakes 100% of the time. When my brother comes, my youngest brother, he brings literally full of oatcakes. Okay. Like, just whack them all in the freezer, and then we try and eat. Me and my son, who lives here, we try and eat them out over the season. We don't have used them all before we get a chance to go back to Stoke and get some more.
Very good, very good. Now, time has almost beaten us, unfortunately, but I want to say a massive, massive thank you for Kay for taking time out to speak to us. We hope you and your family have a lovely Thanksgiving this week and Christmas too, of course. Now, as for Orlando City, this Hollywood blockbuster, it's not over, is it? There's just Sunday, and there's just 3 victories separating us from that MLS Cup.
I know. And tomorrow night we'll know who and when. So after tomorrow. So yeah.
It's fantastic to say it. We wish Oscar Pereira and all of the team, front office, backroom staff, everyone at the club, the very best of luck going deeper in this postseason. Whatever happens, Orlando City UK is behind the team 100%, and we're just so happy how many smiles you've put on faces this season. So until next time, I want to say thanks to Kay for joining us, and vamos Orlando.
Absolutely, and thank you. Thank you for your support. You're awesome.
Thanks, Kay. Speak soon.